Good evening and welcome to my Hangout. My name is Richard Jones and I'm the founder of the Entrepreneur's Best Kept Secret, and welcome to this evening. First of all, can I ask if people can let me know if they can hear me, please? If they can hear me and see me. Be quite useful for me to know. I promise you it is just orange juice. Yeah, okay, wonderful. Thank you for letting me know. That's brilliant. Well, welcome to my Google Hangout tonight. It's been a couple of weeks now since we had a lot of interaction on our summit, and I would just like to start off this evening by thanking you all for taking part in that summit. It was a wonderful experience, and we had so many really wonderful comments. It was really worth doing. Thank you very much. Okay, tonight I'm here. I'm looking at time management, but not for business, but for the summertime, for summer holidays. Although some of it will relate to your business, I'm going to look at it from the point of view of how do we manage having the children home from school for the summer holidays, but continue with our business. It's a big issue. It's a huge issue for people. How are they going to look after their children through the summer holidays, and how are they going to continue with their business? Well, I'm going to have a look at that tonight. And the first thing I'm going to say is, where do we start? We have 6 weeks holidays, at least, and we have to occupy the children and continue our business. What are your expectations? What are you expecting? Are you expecting there to be problems? Are you expecting there to be mayhem? Or are you expecting things to go smoothly? Is your time management good? Is it good enough to be able to manage your time through the summer? Or, like many people, I put myself into this category on a number of occasions, do you find yourself chasing your tail and not really getting things done as you'd like to? Well, the first thing I'll say is we have to start off positive. We have to be confident. And those of you who've heard me talk before won't be surprised I start off with that. We have to be positive. We have to be confident that we're going to get there, that we're going to get through the summer, and we're going to come out the other side. And we're going to have a good summer. I can't guarantee the weather, but we will have a good summer. And the one thing that we have to do is prepare well. Now, if we do some good preparation, we will have done our best to get through the summer without too many problems. Yeah? So that's my first bit of advice to you. Prepare well, but be confident, be positive, and go forward with confidence. Because if you go forward expecting problems, you can almost guarantee you're going to find them, and they're going to come looking for you. Okay? So be positive and move forward in a confident way. Now, you know, at home, tasks can be more difficult to manage, time management wise, than in work. At home, you've got things like the washing, the laundry, the cleaning, looking after the children, the shopping, the cooking, organising the family generally. And all those are things you have to do through the year alongside your business. But through the summer, you have the added issue of maybe children at home for the whole day instead of having a chunk of the day where you can get on with things. So you have to find time for your children, for your family, for your children, for you, time for yourself as well, and time for your business. Okay? So how are we going to fit everything in, all this in, to your time during the school holidays? How is it all going to fit in? Well, the first thing I'm going to talk to you about is planning. Excuse me. I said about good preparation. Well, we can prepare by planning. Okay? And you can have either a daily planner, so you plan in the evening for the following day exactly what you're doing, your times and so forth, what tasks you have to do, and you can fit them in. Or you can do it a week in advance. You know, from a personal preference, I prefer doing a week, at least a week. You know, a planner can be daily, weekly, monthly. You can even do one for the whole summer holidays if you want to, particularly if you've got appointments in, say, the 3rd week or the 4th week. You know, you want to make sure you've got them in. But certainly weekly planning. Okay, so you have a plan Monday to Friday, and you plan what you're going to be doing. Now, some people will have a weekly plan, but then they'll break it down into daily plans as well. And that's fine. If that's what suits you, if that works for you, that's fine. Okay? Anything that's positive, that works for you and that helps you. Okay? What is really useful when you do this plan is that your family agree to it. So if your children are old enough or able enough, and your partner agree to the plan that you put together. Because if they agree to it, then you're more likely to succeed with that planning process, okay? And the actions that come out of that planning. So getting the family to agree to it. Now, the first thing I'm going to say is, if we can get family members to agree to do certain tasks, you may get one family member who'll do the dishes, another family member who'll do the hoovering, another family member who'll tidy up, these sorts of things, yeah? This helps, all right? Even if it's only 1 or 2 tasks in the day, it helps, because that's 1 or 2 tasks in the day less for you to be doing yourself. Now, it may seem pretty obvious, excuse me, but it is quite effective. This is an effective thing. It's, if you were in work, if you were in a work situation, in an office, you'd call it delegation. Okay? So all you're doing is changing it to the home situation and getting some agreement that maybe other people can help you with some of the tasks through the day, because that would be very, very useful for you. Then you could put things away after you. Getting each member to put in things away after them. Okay? Now then, the advantage of this one is that if people put things away, it means there's less tasks to be done after. For instance, if people put their coats, hang their coats up as they come in, put their shoes where they should be, come in with a bit of shopping, they put it away straight away, then it means people haven't got to do it later. So some of those tasks you'll have handed out are already getting less just by people putting things away as the day goes on. Okay, so that's quite useful. Another useful tip, and I'm sure there will be people who can relate to this, I certainly can, is put things in the same place. Car keys, this is a beautiful example. House keys and car keys. How often have you ended up racing around the house before going out? Where's the car keys, or where's the house keys? Where did I put them down? Where did I leave them? It's quite common, isn't it? But if they are put in the one place, you come in and you put them in one place, or you hang them up in one place, and you know where you're going to when you go out to pick them up, then that saves time. Okay? It saves time every time. If you think every time when that happens, then it all mounts up. Seconds, maybe, or minutes. I've seen people look for their keys for 20 minutes before going anywhere because they can't find them. So that's quite a lot of time to be saving. I am referring to some notes, by the way, just to make sure I don't forget anything. If you are one of these people who likes a bit of quiet, then sometimes I've known people say, okay, I'm going to get up a bit earlier. I know my children, right? They're off school. They're going to be in bed for a while. So if you get up just half an hour earlier, then you've got half an hour more time to yourself to be doing some focused work for your business. Okay, so getting up that little bit earlier may just give you an added head start in the mornings to get a few things done. Okay, so already with just looking at a few things, we've actually come up with a number of ideas that could actually save you quite a bit of money and quite a bit of time. And I say money because time is money for people, isn't it? So what I will say is, use your time as best you can. Okay? If you use your time well, then you'll get the most out of your day. Okay? And that's not to say you've got to be working all day, hard at it all day. All you're going to do then is make yourself ill. And that doesn't work. Okay? And I'll come on to that a bit later on. What I would say about your planning system, you set your plan up, you've got your plan for the week, make sure you review it at the end of the week. Did it go well? Was there anything that could have been done differently? Was there something on there that wasn't clear? A bit confusing. Right, for next week now we're going to change that and we're going to make it better. Okay, so by reviewing and finding out the pitfalls, you make it better the following week and so forth. And you do that on a weekly basis. Do it on a daily basis if you want, but certainly on a weekly basis. You review, you pick up the pitfalls, and you adjust. Okay? Now, planning is one way of doing it, and what a lot of people do, they will list the things they're going to do in the morning in order, list the things they're going to do in the afternoon in order, and then they can follow that. But other people get a bit, still doesn't quite work for them. So people do what is called time boxing. Okay, so what they do their list, but they put a time next to it. Okay, so if you're down to do a piece of work for your business, whether it be writing a blog or writing an article, then, or doing a bit of marketing, whatever, you put a time against it. And once that time is up, you move on to the next thing. Because otherwise you could be spending lots and lots of time on things that you don't need to. Okay, it gives you a boundary to work towards. Okay, and this is good for us whenever we do these things, is to put a time on it, a time limit, because it does encourage us to work to that time limit. You know, there are studies around that have shown that if you give someone half an hour to do something, they get it done. If you give them an hour to do something, it takes them an hour. So, you know, give yourself a time limit. You're more likely to focus and get things done. A very important part of this planning and time boxing is knowing when you're most productive. If you're most productive in the mornings, then try and make sure that's when you do your work, because you'll get more done. You'll be more focused and you'll get more done. If you're most productive in the afternoon, then do it that way. Okay? Try and get your work done when you're most productive. because you're more likely to focus on your work then and keep to your times. Avoid distractions. And these distractions can be a nuisance. People knocking the door, the phone going, the television on, reading the newspaper, emails. They're all distractions, but they're also things that we quite commonly use as avoidance techniques because we don't really feel like doing this. It's summertime, our kids are home, we want to be playing with the kids, but it still has to be done. Don't allow these to distract you and for you to use them as avoidance techniques, because if you do, then you're just increasing your workload. So it's very important. For your emails, you set time for your emails. For Facebook, you set time for your Facebook. And you keep to it. Otherwise, you're going to be doing these things all day long and you won't have time for your kids. And you won't have time for yourself. And you also need time. Yourself and your partner. Okay? Another way of making time for yourself is if you've got friends around the area where you live, and they want a bit of time to do something. They may have their own business, they may want time to do the housework, they may want time to do a bit of shopping, and help each other out. Arrange times when maybe you look after their child or children, and arrange times for them to have your child or children. And that gives you both then focused time to do some work. It gives you the time to keep your business ticking over during these difficult few weeks. Okay, so use that. Okay, and don't forget, when you're talking about using other people, I don't mean using in a nasty way. You know, we're just sharing our skills with people, helping each other. Yeah, there's other people around who can help. Grandparents very often are quite a good source of help. Other family who maybe they're not working, they have their own family and perhaps they're not working and they're willing to help. There's babysitters, there's creches, and depending what areas you live in and what's available, there are things like play schemes or holiday camps, all these sorts of things that go on in different areas. And even if it's only a couple of hours a day, at least that gives you the chance to do some focused work whilst your child is safely being looked after. Because I wouldn't advocate anything that wasn't safe. Okay? That is very important. If your child is at home with you and they get tired in the afternoon and they have a nap, then use that time effectively, basically. You know, when they're having a nap, you use that time effectively because then you've got peace and quiet again to do a bit of work. When you're talking about working on a computer, preferably use a laptop. The reason for that is you then have flexibility with when you use it and where you use it. It's not so easy to move around a desktop computer from one room to another as it is a laptop. So a laptop is probably more flexible than a desktop. Okay, so bearing that in mind, that will give you some time to be able to do things. Don't be afraid of accepting help of other people. Other people who know you're working will offer, quite often. Don't be afraid of accepting, as long as you know them and you know your child's safe, don't be afraid of asking for help and accepting offers of help. Okay? Okay. That's quite a range of things in terms of asking for help and things like that. What about you and organising your business for the summer holidays? How can your organisation of your business over those weeks when your child is off school, how can that help you? Or how can you organise it and plan it so that it can help. Okay? Well, the first thing to consider is, can you slow down a bit? Can you slow things down so that through the summer holidays you're not doing as much? There's not the need to do as much. Okay? That's one way of focusing your business to help you. You could refocus your work. It depends what sort of business you're running. But if you have a lot of client contact, then reduce or stop the client contact if you're able to, or certainly reduce it through the summer holidays so that more of your work is at home. That gives you more time because you aren't going to worry about going out and traveling and going from one place to another. So that will save you time. Maybe you could look at it as catch-up time for administration purposes, marketing purposes, and even with them. If you can reduce that, this is a good time of the year to reduce your marketing and your administration so that you're not as pressured through the summer holidays as you would be otherwise. If you have a partner who's working, maybe you'll need to change your hours of work. It may be you do more when your partner is there. So if your partner works 9 till 5, maybe you do more work in the evening time when they're around and weekends, so that you're with the children through the week if that's the only way you can manage it. Yeah? So, that's another thing that you could be looking at to keep your business ticking over. Okay? Very important you keep your business ticking over. But it's also very important that you look after your family. And that's why I talk about maybe slowing down a bit in the summer holidays so that you don't have the demand on your time, so that it's not as stressful and pressurized for you through the summer holidays. And don't forget, last but not least, you have to look after you. You are entitled to a holiday. You're entitled to a week or 2 weeks away with your family. You may have a business to run, you may have to keep an eye on it, but you are entitled to a holiday. It's important that you have a break as well to look after you. Because without you, there will be no business. Because you'll be ill. If you look at your planners for the week, for instance, one of the things I would advocate on that is that you have regular breaks. Making sure you have regular breaks for you time. And for you and your partner time, as well as family time. Now, they may not be long breaks, huge breaks, but you need some breaks. Because otherwise you'll end up becoming very stressed, which can affect your health. You can get burnt out, which means you certainly wouldn't be able to work. And then there's no business. And then you're not going to be able to achieve those goals that you have, that you're working towards, your personal goals and your business goals. So it is very important that you look after yourself as well as your family. Because looking after yourself is very important for the business as well. Business being secondary, in my opinion, because you and your health come first. And sometimes, and I'm going to go back a little bit now on the planner that I talked to you about, sometimes we can plan things, but things crop up. And give you an example. I was talking to someone the other day, and they were saying that they like to be flexible with how they plan their summer holidays with the children because of the weather. And who can blame them? If you're living in the UK, who can blame them? So what they do, they're very flexible. So if you had planned to work today and tomorrow you're with the children, but today ends up being a really nice day, swap them around. As long as you rebook the work you were going to do today, there's nothing stopping you being flexible and taking the children out or playing with the children or whatever, as long as you rebook it in. Because you go out with the children today and you're going to relax and you're going to have a good time. And that will put you in good stead to continue the work you've got to do for your business. So be flexible. Be very flexible. It's not an easy task to get through the summer holidays. But my advice to you is plan it as best you can. Use as many resources as you can and your skills in planning, in organising, and keeping the children occupied to enable you to have enough time to keep your business ticking over. If you can reduce the time you need for your business through the summer holidays, fine, that's brilliant. But make sure you have time for you, your partner, and your family. Very important. And before I finish, just want to say that if you're able to do some of this, and you find you've been able to, hey, that worked well, I've managed to get rid of some of the things that distract me, that's done really well. Think how much time you could save come September when the children do go back to school. And then you've got a bit more time and you've already learned how to save time. So you not only save time during the summer holidays, but you actually may be able to save time for September. So think about it. Think about how you're going to do things. But I'm going to finish off on the talk on what I started with. Prepare well. Be positive and be confident. You do that and you'll get through. You'll get through and you'll come out the other side not as exhausted as perhaps you would have otherwise. I do topics like this in some of my programs. And I know we've got a couple of new names here tonight who've come through to listen tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it. I really do. I hope you've enjoyed listening. I hope you've got something from the ideas. If you've got any ideas, send them in. I'm more than happy to accept them. It'd be brilliant. I can pass them on as well. Please go over to my website. Have a look at what programs are there. I have a 12-month group program which is going to be starting quite soon. And there's still a couple of places left on that. I have some intensive days that can be booked. And I'm also in the process of putting together some shorter programs, which I'm hoping to start running in the autumn. And if you want more information about what I've been talking about this evening, then go onto my website and you can link on to a freebie which you can get with a lot of the information that I've talked about tonight, a couple more tips in there as well. And I've also given you an example of a timetable which could be used as well. And that's all in the freebie. So you can link on, go onto the website, you can link on, and you can download that for nothing, and hopefully use it, and hopefully that will help you through the summer holidays. Well, that's it from me for tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've got something out of it. And I hope you'll join me again for my next Google Hangout, which will be quite soon. And it will be advertised on my website, so please keep an eye on the website. And also, apart from my website, I have a free group that you can join, where we do discuss a range of issues, a range of things, and you will have connections not just with myself, but you will have connections with a range of other people, other entrepreneurs who are able to give their comments and their experiences as well. And that, people tell me, is a benefit. I certainly benefit from other people's comments and things they've got to share, and I'm sure you will as well. So I hope you've enjoyed tonight. Please come across and join us. We're there. Please link in and we will respond as soon as we can to anything that you put on there. Okay? Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Hope you've enjoyed it, and please join me next time. Thank you. Bye.